We are now here with, we got 5 players from Broder Rice ahead of our Cold Weather Bats Game of the Week. Guys, thanks for taking a few minutes here and chatting with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So this is one of the most anticipated early season games in the state. You guys have also been a part of a handful of others as well. What is your mindset as a team in the dugout heading into a top 10 matchup that we have here with Stevenson come tomorrow?
Just building the chemistry as a team. We have a lot of new young guys. So getting that underclassmen bonding with the other, like the old guys, and really just developing as a team and, going out there winning. Seeing what our arms can throw strikes and compete. Because we got a lot of new guys now. And then really just having the goal and having the team doing well by playoffs and making that, playoff run and, getting to that state championship game and, winning. But that's our goal.
Yeah, I would agree with Blake for the most part. Just getting some of those young guys a lot of looks, a lot of reps, especially early in the season, to be ready for the playoffs and later in the year, Catholic League playoffs and all that. And just looking at the long-term goal, making sure we're focused on that and not just the short-term stuff.
I definitely agree with that. I think team morale too. I know a lot of players are competing for different spots. Just keeping the team environment and dugout at all times.
Yeah, those are all good points. I'd say this team's played a lot of big games already, so I think we'll kind of just go with it as another game and just try and get another done.
Yeah, not much more I can say. The whole team's worked hard all offseason to prepare for games like this.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Riker tells us before every game, just play. So he kind of takes that pressure off, and the environment he instills in the team is kind of how we play as a group in terms of just having fun and just going out there and playing how we know we can play.
So you guys are no strangers at all to big stages, but how does a matchup like this help prepare for what's coming later in the year for you guys with playoffs, Catholic League, state title runs, etc.?
Yeah, I think just getting these games early against good teams kind of prepares us in the sense that, we try to play the toughest competition we can at all times. So when we face whoever we face in the playoffs, it doesn't surprise us or catch us off guard. We usually face everybody's best arms, so seeing another good one tomorrow is kind of what we're looking forward to, and just competing against it and challenging ourselves to see, how it helps us in the long run.
Like Cole said, we've kind of talked about it as a team, and I guess with our coaching staff, really it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. So I think these games are kind of just preparing us as a team, us getting tighter, just seeing who can play, kind of like Blake said, and preparing us for a hopefully a big playoff run.
Yeah, again, we have a lot of young guys, so I think this is a big game for them, and we get some used to playing in these big situations.
Yeah, seeing good teams early in the year really keeps us sharp during the regular season and the Catholic League, just because it's all good competition across the board, and it'll especially help us late in the year when we play good teams.
Yeah, just seeing the best of the best all the time is the best thing to do, as a team. So being able to see, Stevenson, Bay City, seeing them in Bay City throw both of their arms, right? That's good for us as a team. That way, when we make that playoff state championship run, right, we've already seen these teams and we're ready for them.
With the 5 of you that are already committed to major D1 programs, how do you balance being high-level individual talents with keeping the team-first culture that Broder Rice is known for?
Perfect Bob Ranker.
Yeah, so Coach Riker really tells us, he kind of has a saying that we have 28 guys in our locker room, so as part of the team, you've got to put yourself 28 and put all 27 people above you, regardless of how much you play or where you're going, or, even if you're a senior or freshman, you've got to put yourself 28 and help the other guys out first, kind of that unselfish culture. So I think just kind of how Coach Riker talks about it kind of helps us realize that, we need everybody to, in the end, get what we're trying to get in that state championship. We can't just, one person can't do it, or us 5. We're going to need everybody. So that kind of helps us to, help everybody out, and kind of that unselfish culture that we kind of have here.
Kind of like Cole mentioned, Riker instilling that culture and bringing it into the team, and why this program has been so successful in the past and will be in the future. Just the intensity he brings and the giving to others that Coach Riker brings as a team really brings the best out in us as individuals and brings the best out as a team.
Yeah, I think they summed up our culture here at Broder Rice perfectly.
I mean, yeah, I would agree. We really push a no selfish type of culture here, especially Coach Riker. And at the end of the day, if you put yourself 28th on that list and everyone else ahead of you and all the team goals ahead of you, the individual stuff will work itself out.
Yeah, just putting the team first always, thinking about the team winning, not being a me guy, being a we guy, and being good for the team.
So you guys have been dealing with cold temps and weird schedules and really just the classic Michigan spring baseball here. How has having a turf field really helped you guys at Broder Rice stay locked in, and how do you stay sharp during these early weeks with the fact of what these temperatures are and what you guys just had today and what's coming tomorrow and for the next couple of days here?
Yeah, well, obviously, we're very blessed here at Broder Rice to have the turf field. We have the indoor facility right over there, so kind of regardless of weather, we can practice kind of fully no matter what. But I think the turf field, obviously, I'm a senior, so I played on it for 4 years, so I kind of take it for granted. But it allows us to play through really anything, and obviously allows us to get better when other teams can't practice. We can still go out there and get our work in. So obviously, it's a big blessing that we have kind of that turf field and that indoor down our left field line. So I think those two are very, very important to our ability to practice day in and day out.
I think another thing that the turf field brings is like the practice environment. For example, we were practicing yesterday and it was even colder, right? And we're having a gritty practice, right? It's cold, guys aren't wearing sleeves. And we're all able to do that because of the turf. So I think it almost just prepares us for the game even more, makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, as a pitcher, it's definitely a little bit different, but I would say definitely having the indoor facility is great for pitching. I mean, I was able to get bullpens in all year in an acceptable climate, so.
Yeah, the turf field allows us to practice when a lot of teams can't. And the indoor facility, no matter what the weather is, you can get your swings in, you can get your throwing done.
Yeah, I think especially with the sun out too, I think that helps, just the weather and it being warmer out on the turf, when it's nicer out. And then the facility is a huge help on the left field line. The whole offseason I spent in there training, throwing, really everything.
Yeah. So what would you guys say is the biggest difference in really this year's squad versus last year in 2024? What do you guys think that really is going to make this group more dangerous, as you guys are the returning starters that I've kind of seen on both sides here?
Yeah, well, obviously last year's group had a ton of talent, but more importantly, ton of experience. All those guys have been on varsity for 4 years. So Coach Riker kind of talks about it now. He could kind of just show up last year and we kind of all knew what we were going to do just because of the experience we had and those seniors leading us. This year, it's totally flipped with all the freshmen. We practice a lot more as a whole program. There's a lot more, coaching specific things going on just because it's a bunch of freshmen. And, they still need to learn the ins and outs of the game. So I think as the returners, we just got to remember that these kids are, freshmen and still coming along, and remember how we were when we were freshmen, to be patient with them because they have lots of talent and lots of upside. So if we can just bring them along and kind of, push them along into the right direction, I think that's very important for us and our success in the future and the program's success in the long run.
Right. Kind of like what Cole said, that the group last year was obviously really special, and you had everyone in the starting lineup, everyone in the field, other than when Cole was pitching, when I was catching, were upperclassmen, right? Where compared to this year, you have a freshman at second some games, or a freshman at first, or your starting third baseman and right fielder, or a freshman left, right? We even had have a freshman go play center day when Cash has to throw, right? So these guys are all huge contributors to the team. And like Cole said, Coach Riker said he's actually likes coaching this team more because he's got to do more coaching, right? Instead of just writing a lineup, sticking it on the board, and then coaching third, right? Having to direct guys, right? Base running, more mental side, right? Because they're not as experienced. And then kind of like relating to this big game, right? Maybe some of these kids haven't played in big games before like this, so they get to experience that and just this culture. I think it's really good for them.
You know, I definitely agree with Cole. I mean, Blake and I here, I mean, we pitched in big games, and we kind of have that big game experience going into this season. I think that it's important for these younger guys to get the same type of experience in the upcoming games.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Cole and BK on that one. We obviously had a lot of talent last year, but I think the biggest part for sure was just the seniors' experience. Most of them were 4-year players on varsity. A couple of them were 4-year starters on varsity. So I think that's definitely the biggest difference.
Yeah, I think two things. You know, very special group last year. Had a lot of talent. But I mean, we didn't really lose much pitching as a whole, and we still have these guys as hitters. So you know, I think we'll be right back where we were last year. Another thing is, you know, the biggest thing I understood was the most talented team doesn't always win. And, you know, it's the team that, you know, has the dogs and has the grit to go out there and, you know, do anything to win, you know, in this game and compete.
Quick last one here for fun. Who is the loudest voice in the dugout when the games are tight? And really, in general, who is the one that's going to be the most locked in when it's go time?
The loudest when the game is tight for sure. We have a junior who plays quarterback at our school named Brady Thomas.
Yeah, BT.
So he's an outfielder for us, and is loud all the time, like all the time, always the loudest. I mean, we love it obviously in the field because brings a lot of support and energy. And then the most locked in when it's kind of a close game.
I'd say you're bro.
The most locked in is probably Cash.
I mean, Cash is always dialed in, but big situations, that's kind of the guy you want up, right? So I'd say Cash.
You got one? Or you got one?
What do you think?
I would say Blake's always locked in too. I mean, big games, he's always there to pitch well. Appreciate that.
Who you got, Cash?
I mean, yeah, Brady's definitely the loudest. Sometimes it gets to a point almost, but he's definitely the loudest. And then, I mean, for the pitching aspect, I go Blake. He's always locked in on his stuff.
I'd say PT, Brady Thomas. Yeah, no, he's bringing the energy. He's screaming. He'll say whatever. He's very energetic. He's a pumped up guy.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys taking a few minutes here of your evening after you guys just got done wrapping up a game here today on Wednesday. I wish you guys luck tomorrow and throughout the rest of the season. I know there's a lot of us here at Cold Weather Bats have thrown out our state title picks as a lot of Brother Rice Warrior choices. So we have a lot of guys from our staff that are definitely keeping a lookout for you guys, and really best of luck, like I said, through the rest of this week and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.